Hello, friends and poultry enthusiasts. It's a pleasure to have you back here on the channel. Today, we're going to touch on a topic that is the foundation of every successful chicken coop, but I want you to imagine the following scene for a moment. You wake up one morning, head out to the yard with your coffee in hand, expecting the usual cheerful clucking, and instead you find an absolute and worrying silence. That is every breeder's nightmare, and unfortunately, it usually happens not because of bad luck, but because of small invisible details that we overlook in our daily lives. The good news is that keeping your flock healthy and strong doesn't depend on expensive medicines or being an expert veterinarian, but on consistency and simple tasks that nature itself teaches us. Today I'm going to share a sacred routine of 12 weekly steps that will create a protective shield around your birds. But before revealing these country secrets to you, I invite you to give the video a big thumbs up. It's a small gesture for you, but it helps me a lot to keep bringing these tips. Do it now and let's get started. The bedding sniff test. Everything starts with the ground they walk on. I remember when I started, I thought cleaning the coop was just sweeping what looked dirty, but I learned that the real enemy is invisible. Every week, the first thing I do is enter the coop, close my eyes and breathe deeply. If you smell a strong odor like ammonia that stings your nose a bit, poor chickens. They are breathing that 24 hours a day, and their lungs are suffering. Ammonia is released when the bedding, whether it's shavings, straw, or rice hulls, is damp and dirty. It's a treacherous gas that burns the birds' respiratory tracts, leaving them open to any virus passing through the air. That's why your first weekly mission is to turn the bedding. You don't need to change it all. Just flip the material with a rake so it airs out. If you find clumped or wet parts, take them out immediately and put in fresh, dry material. Imagine it's like changing the sheets on your own bed. No one sleeps well or stays healthy sleeping on moisture. By doing this, you break the life cycle of many bacteria that love damp dirt. When you finish, you'll see how the chickens come running into scratch. They love fresh, moved bedding. This simple act of turning and drying is the #1 barrier against respiratory diseases and doesn't cost you a cent, just a few minutes of your time. Deep cleaning the waterers. Once the ground is safe, we move on to the water. I've often seen waterers that look clean on the outside, but if you run your finger along the inner walls, you feel a slimy, slippery layer. That slime is called biofilm, and it's basically a five-star hotel for bacteria and germs that make your birds sick. Just rinsing the waterer and refilling it isn't enough. Once a week, I take the time to bring the waterers to the sink and scrub them with a stiff brush and a little soap or diluted bleach. You have to scrub until the surface squeaks clean when you run your finger over it and you don't feel anything slippery. Think of this like washing your own glasses. Would you drink from a glass that has only been rinsed with water for a month? Surely not. Chickens, by pecking at the ground and then drinking, dirty the water very quickly, and that dirty water is the perfect vehicle for carrying diseases directly to their stomachs. By returning the sparkling waterer with crystal clear water to them, you are cutting off the most common transmission route for diseases in the coop. It's a basic hygiene habit that ensures that the only thing entering their bodies is pure hydration and not a cocktail of dangerous bacteria. The garlic and onion cocktail. Now that the water is clean, let's boost it. Years ago, an old farmer told me that he never used antibiotics because his medicine was in the garden. Since then, once a week, I prepare what I call the immunity tonic using simply garlic and onion, two of the most potent natural antibiotics that exist. It's not complicated at all. I crush a couple of garlic cloves and a piece of onion and let them sit in their drinking water. Garlic contains allicin, a substance that helps fight internal parasites and strengthens the respiratory system. Meanwhile, onion is excellent for circulation and general defenses. At first, your chickens might find the taste strange, but they get used to it quickly. It's like when we drink a green juice or take vitamins. It's hard at first, but the body appreciates it. This small weekly boost keeps their immune system alert and ready to defend itself on its own. Inspecting the feeders. Continuing with feeding, there is a silent villain that kills many chickens: mold. Sometimes we fill and refill the feeder on top of the old food that remains at the bottom. And with the humidity in the air, that old food starts to decompose in the corners, creating invisible fungi. These fungi produce toxins that can be fatal. That's why my fourth weekly step is to completely empty the feeders. Don't leave a single grain. Tap the feeder upside down and make sure there are no food scraps stuck in the corners or at the bottom. If you find stuck food, wash it. And very importantly, let it dry in the sun before using it again. The sun is the best natural disinfectant. Never put new food in a damp feeder because you'll be inviting the fungi right back. By giving them a clean plate every week, you ensure that every gram of food they consume nourishes them instead of slowly poisoning them. It's a detail many overlook, but it makes the difference between a chicken that lays eggs and one that looks sad and lethargic. The ash and soil bath. Let's change topics to skin and feathers. Have you ever felt constant itching? It's exasperating, right? For chickens, lice and mites are a torture that sucks their blood and energy, leaving them weak and anemic. They know how to heal themselves. They just need us to provide the material. Every week I check their dust bath area. They need a place with loose soil or sand to roll around in. My secret is to add a little clean wood ash from a campfire or fireplace or diatomaceous earth to that area every week. Ash is excellent for suffocating those external parasites. Watching them roll around happily throwing dirt over their backs is one of the best signs of a healthy coop. That play is actually their personal hygiene routine. If you don't give them this space and materials, parasites will take over and you'll have to resort to chemical poisons. Keeping their soil spa ready and with fresh ash ensures that they deworm themselves externally in a mechanical and natural way. It's pure prevention. A chicken without itching is a calm chicken that devotes its energy to laying eggs and not to scratching. Observing low-tails. Now let's use our eyes. Once a week, I take 10 minutes to do nothing but watch. I sit on a bench and observe. I'm not looking for eggs or cleaning. I'm looking for the chicken that acts differently. I look for the one that stays apart, the one with its tail down or its feathers ruffled. Chickens are prey animals in nature, so they are experts at hiding that they are sick so as not to appear weak. However, when they think you're not watching or when they are relaxed, they show subtle signs. If you see one that doesn't run for the food with the same enthusiasm as the others, that's your warning sign. Detecting a sad chicken at this early stage is crucial. Often, if you set it aside, give it warmth, good food, and a bit of extra care, it recovers on its own. If you wait until it's lying on the ground, it's usually too late. This weekly spying session connects you with your flock. Over time, you'll get to know the personality of each one, and you'll know instantly if someone isn't feeling well. It's the cheapest and most effective diagnostic tool you have, your own attention. Apple cider vinegar. Returning to internal reinforcements, there is an ingredient that is never missing from my pantry. Apple cider vinegar. But watch out, it has to be the one with the mother, that cloudy stuff at the bottom. Vinegar helps slightly acidify the bird's digestive system. This is good because bad bacteria and internal parasites don't like an acidic environment. They prefer an alkaline environment to reproduce. By adding a tablespoon of vinegar per liter of water once or twice a week, you make life impossible for those harmful organisms. Additionally, vinegar helps them absorb calcium better, which translates into stronger eggshells. It's impressive how such a small change in their gut pH can have such big effects on their overall health and productivity. It's like giving them a natural probiotic. It doesn't cure a serious infection, but it maintains internal balance so that the infection doesn't occur in the first place. It's a simple, economical, and tremendously effective habit to keep your chicken's engines running smoothly. Checking the droppings. This point isn't the most pleasant, but it's vital. Droppings are your chicken's daily health report. Once a week, take a moment to look under the perches or in the yard. What are you looking for? Normal is firm droppings with a white cap. If you see yellow with foam, or worse yet with blood, you have a problem brewing. Bloody droppings can indicate coccidiosis, a serious intestinal disease. Very runny droppings or strange colors can indicate infections or poor diet. I'm not asking you to analyze them with a microscope. Just be alert to drastic changes. If you see something strange, you can act fast. Clean more thoroughly, separate suspected birds, or improve the diet. Most of the time, the problem is solved by improving hygiene before it spreads. Learning to read what your chickens leave on the ground gives you an incredible time advantage. It's like having an early warning system. The faster you detect an anomaly, the easier it will be to correct it without needing strong medications. Draft-free ventilation. Respiratory health is the Achilles heel of chickens. Often in an effort to protect them from the cold, We seal the coop hermetically. This is a grave mistake. Stale, damp air inside a closed coop is a breeding ground for diseases. Every week, check that the ventilation is working. Air must flow, but there should be no direct drafts hitting the chickens while they sleep. Imagine it's like sleeping with a window open. You want fresh air, but you don't want the wind freezing your face all night. Clean vents of cobwebs or accumulated dust to ensure airflow. If you enter the coop and feel the air is heavy or damp, you need to open more ventilation, preferably at the high part of the roof, where heat and moisture escape. Chickens with fresh air are chickens with pink, healthy lungs. Clean air dries the bedding, reduces ammonia, and strengthens birds against weather changes. It's a delicate but vital balance. Protection from the wind, but welcoming fresh air. Greens and entertainment. Boredom causes stress, and stress lowers defenses. A bored chicken starts pecking its companions and eating eggs. To avoid this and provide fresh vitamins, every week I give them an edible toy. It could be a cabbage hung from a string, a bunch of fresh alfalfa, or even weeds from the garden. By having to jump or peck to eat the greens, they exercise and get distracted. Additionally, green vegetables provide chlorophyll and vitamins that aren't always in commercial feed. The color of the egg yolks will thank you for this extra nutrient intake. You'll see brighter, orange yolks. But beyond that, you'll see active and mentally stimulated chickens. Animal welfare isn't just physical health, it's also mental health. A happy and busy chicken has a much more robust immune system than a stressed and confined chicken with nothing to do. Make weekly greens a party for them. Checking combs and legs. Combs and legs are the health traffic lights. Once a week, while you feed them, check the color of their combs. A bright red comb indicates a healthy chicken in full production. If you see a pale purple or black scabbed comb, something is wrong. Black scabs can be fowl pox transmitted by mosquitoes. If you see this, you'll have to step up cleaning and perhaps use natural repellents. Then, look down at the legs. They should be smooth. If the scales look raised or crusty, they have leg mites. To prevent leg mites from advancing, you can rub Vaseline or vegetable oil on their legs once a week if you see the slightest sign of roughness. This smothers the mites and leaves the legs soft. This top-to-bottom visual scan, comb and legs, takes seconds per chicken but saves you months of treatments. It's incredible how the chicken's body screams its health status if we are willing to look in the right place. The night visit. Finally, the last step of our weekly routine occurs after the sun has gone down. Entering the coop at night in silence and darkness allows you to hear things that are impossible during the day due to ambient noise. Enter slowly and listen. Do you hear snoring, wheezing, sneezing? At night, when they are still on the perches, breathing should be silent. If you hear respiratory noises, you have a problem starting. At night, you can also feel their crops. If they ate well, they should be full or emptying. Additionally, it's the best time to verify there are no predators or rodents lurking. Check that doors close tightly and that there are no new holes where a weasel or rat could enter. Night security is the foundation of restful sleep. If your chickens sleep peacefully, without fear and without cold, they will wake up strong. This night visit closes the circle of weekly care, ensuring that while you sleep, they are protected and healthy. And there you have it, friends. 12 steps, 12 weeks of tranquility. I know it may seem like a lot at first, but I promise you that once you integrate it into your routine, it won't take more than an hour a week to do all this. And that hour invested is worth its weight in gold, because it will save you the headache of losing your beloved birds and the expense of treating advanced diseases. Prevention is the greatest act of love you can have for your animals. I hope you put these tips into practice starting today. If this weekly routine has changed the way you care for your birds and value life in the yard, please subscribe and like the channel. We are sharing the secrets of nature that many have forgotten. Protect your flock. Cultivate the future. The next treasure of rural wisdom will open very soon. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.